In the end, any organization is just a group of people. It's people. People are the heart of every organization. Every organization is only as good as its people. So it's very important that people perform at their best. We call it attract the best, keep the best. You have to attract the top talent and the best people and keep them. And a lot of our clients here in the region have challenges in not only getting the best people, but once they have them, make sure they perform at their optimum level. Because sometimes, let's be honest, people become comfortable, complacent, and then the whole productivity of an organization goes down. So it's very important to keep productivity levels high. And when we work with our clients, we have specific programs we design for each one of the clients, uniquely tailored to what they need, so that the performance of everybody in the organization, from lower ranks to higher ranks, is optimized.
So that leads us to the next question. What can we do as an organization when we feel that, people, as you said rightly, after maybe 5, after 7 years, everything goes, I want to say, dull again. How do you again motivate people? Is that through restructuring? Is through rebranding? How you think the ways when organization, which is normal, full the cycle and then...
Of course. That is a very, very good question. And we have seen around the world in working with our clients, whether these are medium-sized or large companies, that the answer is always several things. It's not just one solution, it's several solutions combined. Because HR is a complex challenge. How do you get people to perform at their best? Let me give you one example. If everybody believes in the vision and the mission of the company, if everybody believes where the company is going and is excited to get up in the morning and start to work because they feel ownership, they feel accountable for the results of the company, they feel there are also owners of the company, then they deliver their best. So one of the things that is very important is you have to get the vision and the mission right. And you have to create a vision of the future, the ideal future of the company, your objective, your goal, where you want to go. It has to be so strong that it's exciting. People feel passionate about it and they cannot wait to get up in the morning and conquer that mountain together.
But sometimes these mission and vision, they remain abstract for the people.
Yes,
and it's very hard sometimes to explain to them the picture of tomorrow.
Very true.
So that's how to deal with that when it's just a small sentence or few words.
It's true. It's true. We always say, you have to be able to call every one of your employees up at 2 a.m. in the morning, and they should be able to give you the mission statement and the vision statement when you have them on the phone, even if they just woke up at 2 a.m. in the morning. This means a lot of companies have vision and missions and objectives, but there is no buy-in from the people. You have to get the full buy-in from the employees. We do this by running a series of workshops with our clients, which are designed to get the full buy-in from everybody, so that in the end, everybody moves as one team. Like a good sports team, they go on the field and they move as one team together towards the goal.
And how you see also now the influence of technology, or the disruptive, as they say, and how to deal with that in terms of management and HR and a changing word, because sometimes now people tell us, well, it's okay, I'm coming late, but I have achieved my whatever goal or for the day. How to deal with such things?
Well, when you talk about disruption, you talk about innovation. And innovation is at the heart of every company. And most companies think about innovation just in terms of new products or services. Innovation is anything to cut costs if you have a great idea to cut costs, is innovation. If you innovate and do things better on the supply side, it's innovation. In production, it's innovation. So any improvement is innovation. So the question is, how do you get the best ideas from your people?
Yeah.
We distinguish between two kinds of innovation. One is marginal innovation, which means making things a little bit better. And the other one is 0 to 1 innovation, which means revolutionizing your industry. You know, having these breakthrough ideas that set you apart from your competitors, so you are in a world of your own. Every organization should strive to have both the marginal innovation, making things a little bit better, and the 0 to 1 innovation, having these groundbreaking ideas. To do this, you have to set up a structure of innovation within the company. What does this mean? You have to work on the systems and the culture. Innovation is always both. It's systems and mindset. So the culture, you have to build a culture of innovation where everybody brings their best ideas. And you have to create a system so you can collect the best ideas from lower ranks to top ranks, filter them, and prioritize them so top management can decide which ideas to execute to create the next breakthrough success for the organization.
That's good, but again, I go back to this discipline and productivity. Which one will you put first? And because I use technology, because that's what sometimes now it is a changing thing. So, do they go together? They have to be together, or you think they are? Doesn't matter discipline as long as you have achieved your productivity and performance or achievement for the year or the day or the week.
It's a very, very good question. We have found in working with organizations around the world and transforming them and transforming their HR and their people, that people perform best if they're highly motivated. Discipline is another word for motivation, because let's be honest, if you love what you're doing, you don't need discipline. Right? If you believe in where you're going, you're excited to get on the journey, and every day you wake up and you're excited to share the journey together with the other people that you're working with, then you don't need discipline, because the vision is so strong that it automatically drives you towards fulfillment of that vision. This is why it's very important to create a culture, but also the right goals and objectives, visions and missions for the company, so that discipline will come naturally. And then you get the best out of people.
What in your now stay in Oman for the last maybe a week or 10 days now?
Actually 3 weeks.
Wow.
3 weeks. And it's not my
Already,
first stay. It's actually,
yes.
yeah.
What do you see the main challenges in the business and the HR field?
Yes, we actually see several different challenges here in Oman. The first challenge is productivity. All of our clients come to us and ask, how can we make our people perform better? They come to us and say, our people become too comfortable and they're not performing at their optimum level. Or maybe they come and in the beginning, when we get them on board, they perform well, but then afterwards, the performance goes down. How do you solve that? So that's one of the challenges. As I said, almost all of our clients come to us with that challenge. Another challenge is, obviously because of the rules and regulations in Oman, you cannot, as we say, hire and fire. It's not possible. This means even more important that you create the right systems, practices, tools, and culture so everybody performs at their best and is highly motivated. Because in other countries, of course, you have more flexible labor laws, but still it always costs you a lot of money to hire and fire, because you have to get new people, you have to invest in recruitment, then you have to invest in training, and it takes a lot of time till somebody gives their 100%. So even outside of Oman, it's always bad to have good people leaving an organization. So this is a challenge that is shared by many organizations around the world. The good news is there are solutions and this can be solved.
Okay.
So that's why we'll take us to another questions. How we can keep those people we are invest on them? How we can keep them in our organizations?
Yes. So the question is, how do we keep our best people in the organization? And then also, how do we keep them performing best? Because sometimes it's not possible or will be very expensive to let them go. Here again, we go back to what we discussed before. It is important that the organization has a very clear vision of where they're going. But not only this, they need to have a clear plan. And this strategy needs to be so clear to everybody that everybody understands the strategy and also believes in the strategy. This is very important. How to accomplish this is something that we do every day with our clients. Because then afterwards, people are excited because they know where they're going. It's almost like going to war. If you lead an army into war, do you want people to follow you because they have to? Or do you want them to follow you because they believe in you and believe in what you stand for and believe in where you're going? Then you get the best of people.
So this leads us to leadership.
Leadership.
And its skills and its role in organization.
Yes. So to say a few words about leadership. Leadership is very important to us because we see with our clients around the world that even if it's a medium-sized or big company, it doesn't matter what the size of the company, leadership is always very important. We define leadership first as leading oneself, leading myself, and then leading others. Most people think of leadership in terms of leading other people, but it really starts with ourselves. If we can lead ourselves and perform at our best and fulfill our potential, we can more easily lead others to do the same. So it's very important to create a leadership culture. How do you do this? By knowing what are the principles behind leadership and optimum performance. How do I lead myself best? How do I lead others best? What are the secrets behind optimum performance? Why do some people perform extremely well and others do not? We have seen it is usually never the case that the people who are top performers have more talents than the others. No. Most of the top performers in this world, not only in business, but also in sports, in the arts, in politics, and many other fields, usually have 2 or 3 main strengths and a lot of weaknesses. But how they play to their strengths and how they deal with their weaknesses, that is the secret.
Okay.
So that means we have to build leaders, not employees.
Absolutely. We have to build leaders in company. If you build leaders in an organization, middle level, top level, and even going down to lower levels if you can, you automatically solve your succession planning because you will build up the next generation of leaders within the company. And naturally, productivity will fly because you build leaders in a company, not just followers or employees. You want leaders in a company. This is why the topic of leadership is so important. And there are secret tools and principles how the top leaders in this world, in business, create their extraordinary success. The good news is this can be taught to others, so everyone can become a leader if they master the right principles.
Shall we talk a bit more also about family business and companies?
Please.
How you think, because usually the family business is first generation and second,
True.
and then it starts declining.
True.
As example in the worldwide. What is your advice or about for family business direction for the future?
We work a lot with family businesses.
Okay.
I myself come from a family business. So we work a lot with family businesses around the world because family businesses need special attention. Number one, a family business is built on trust. So the relationship is very important. Trust relationships are very important. Number two, family business usually believe in loyalty and long-term relationships, not only with their people, but also with their suppliers and their clients. So it's very important to understand how a family business is different from other businesses. The great advantage of family businesses is that usually the decision-making is quite fast and easier than in other organizations where there are multiple decision makers. Because a family business is usually structured in a way that decisions can be made quickly. This means family businesses have an advantage. They can be more agile, more flexible, and respond faster to changes in markets, in the economy, and in the customers. That is very, very important. The other advantage of family businesses is that families and family businesses can create this vision of the future so that really everyone in the company believes in that objective, in that goal. Because family businesses are by nature passionate about what they're doing. It's not just a job for them, it's their life and it's their future. When we work with family businesses, we always make a transformation so that the family business can thrive across generations. That should be the goal. As you said correctly, a lot of family businesses suffer in the succession from one generation to the next. It is our goal, as the goal of many family businesses, to make sure the business thrives across generations and even continues to grow. And here it is very, very important to not only talk to one generation, but I really talk to several generations who are involved in that transformation to make sure that the family business grows like a tree and bears more and more fruits and gets bigger and bigger.
Do you believe that each organization has its own culture or the atmosphere, or, so that, and how does that help the culture of the company to grow or to have harmony, or, are there any tips, for example, that can help creating the loyalty in the company so that everybody is working, as you said, in one team, in one spirit? And are there any things you want to add to this?
Absolutely, and I think it's an excellent question, because in the end, as we said before, any organization, large or small, is nothing other than a group of people. So here, culture is so important. A lot of organizations make the mistake that they think it's just about having the right systems in place, the right structure in place, knowing what they're doing, having the right products or services. But in the end, it's people. So the culture is very important. Every organization must have its own unique culture. If the organization does not know what that culture is, or what it should be, that's already the first challenge. Because if the organization does not clearly define its culture and build that culture, you cannot get the best from everybody. Only if everybody clearly knows what does the organization stand for, where is it going, what are the values of the organization, and what is its culture, and what is my role in the organization, and where it is going, then you can get the best out of people, their optimum productivity, and you will be able to not only attract the best people to you, but also keep the best people.
Do you think we can talk about comparative or comparison in HR, because now we are in the world of globalization?
Of course.
And we can know what is happening in Japan, as you know now, what is happening in Muscat and what's happening in Los Angeles. How you see the comparison in the development of HR and motivation and productivity and performance in vis-a-vis?
Excellent question. And it's true that we can luckily draw on our experience of being active with clients on many different continents and in many places around the world. Of course, every culture is different. Even the labor laws and regulations are different in every country. So of course, this is very important. Sometimes these can be limitations in terms of what you can do. But the good news is the principles, the secret tools, and the best practices, how to motivate people, how to attract the best people, how to keep the top talent and the best people, how to make people leaders within the organization, how to make them lead others efficiently, and how to make sure that an organization continues to grow even in times of crisis and reach its full potential. These principles and tools are the same everywhere around the world. The secret principles of what makes an organization a great organization are always the same in any country around the world. But how you apply them and what the solutions will look like are different in each country and in every organization. And what works for one organization here in Oman will not work for another organization in Oman, because the solutions always have to be customized and unique, because every organization is unique.
How do you see also the work hours? And do you believe in long hours or short or taking breaks?
Very good question. It's very, very good
Like
question.
what happened now in Finland, they are working 4 days in the week. Yeah, decide like that.
So how do I see the working hours and longer hours short? Well, I believe that we will move into a time, and we're already moving into a time where only the results count. And somebody might be able to do in 3 hours what somebody else cannot do in 20 hours. So it is very important to look for results. And this brings us to an important point. Every organization has to be ruthlessly results focused. That's why execution and implementation is so important. As we said before, a great plan without proper implementation and execution is useless, because it will lead to nothing. You have to have proper execution and implementation in order to achieve your objectives, solve your challenges, and bring an organization from good to great to extraordinary. And here it is very important to create an execution and implementation culture within the organization, so everybody in the organization aggressively drives towards the goals every single day.
Now let's talk a bit about Tom, maybe more how you, when you travel, how you plan, how you prepare, all different cultures, different things that are required from you. I mean, what are your, let's say, work ethics? Or
My work ethics. Well,
for example, we're trying to understand.
Sure. It's a very good question. Thank you. So, I grew up in Germany, and the good thing about growing up in Germany was that there are several good things about the culture when it comes to work ethics. Germans work very hard. They do work usually long hours, and they're very dedicated to reaching their objectives. They usually do not stop until they reach their goals and their results. And they have high attention to detail, which means they're very good at making plans and strategies and are very meticulous and detail-oriented when it comes to planning. This is a great advantage, and you can see this in the good German engineering and the great cars Germany has been producing for almost an eternity. These qualities are excellent, but when I was 16, I had a scholarship to go to a boarding school in the United States. And then I went to the boarding school, I graduated, I came back to Germany, graduated from German high school, then went back to the United States, did my business school there, and also did a master in economics in Germany. What those two cultures have taught me at an early age growing up is that it's not good enough to have a master plan and to have attention to detail. You need to execute. You need to have that entrepreneurial spirit that brings execution, implementation with flexibility. Because only if you have flexibility, you can respond to change. Americans do have that flexibility. The American entrepreneurs have that flexibility. This is why Silicon Valley is in Silicon Valley. And it would be hard for Silicon Valley, in my opinion, to be anywhere else. Maybe in the future we will see that. And certainly we do see great companies come up in other areas in the world, even in the area of IT. But there is a reason why a lot of the great global companies started in the United States. Because they combined planning with masterful execution and implementation and the flexibility that you need. So growing up, this has taught me that it's very important to be detail-oriented, Germany, precision-oriented, Germany, be great at planning and having a master plan and strategy for everything, Germany, but also that is very important to execute and to implement, the United States, and have that flexibility when you implement and execute.
Great.
And obviously, after this, my work has taken me around the world to many different cultures. One thing that has been very surprising to me, when you look at all those different cultures around the world in which we work, we have found that the principles and the tools and the secret of how to build a great organization and the secrets how to solve challenges and reach goals are the same anywhere in the world. But how you design the individual solutions tailored to that organization, this has to be different in every culture, in every country, and in every organization. Because it is unique and has to be uniquely customized for every organization.
Good. Hope you enjoy Oman.
Excellent. Excellent questions.
Yeah, really,
Shukran.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful. You have so much knowledge about business and entrepreneurship. It's phenomenal.
So that's why we go for last questions, please. For entrepreneurs, what your advice for them in Oman?
For entrepreneurs in Oman, what is my advice? My advice is that you have to take part in the rise of Oman. When Oman is rising out of a dependency on one main sector, which is the oil industry, and wants to become more diversified and wants to also grow its companies beyond the borders of Oman. So I would encourage entrepreneurs in Oman to incorporate this spirit of entrepreneurship, planning and execution with a clear vision and clear goals so that they can take part in this rise of the Oman economy to build companies that not only become regional leaders, but ideally also international companies.
Yeah, very important. I think also they should use the technology now for marketing to reach beyond the borders.
Absolutely.
So that the market now is open, global-wise, and they should take advantage of this.
Absolutely. Very important.
Because to stay in your small market, it's always a limitation. And rather than having 100,000, maybe you can have millions of people who would be introduced to your product or service or whatever.
Absolutely. Technology is a great tool that allows every company to grow beyond the borders and become regional or international leaders in their field. But it is also very important to understand that how much technology we use and apply, this answer is different in every company. We see some companies go into automation or more technology because they think technology is always good. It also comes with a price. So you always have to analyze clearly, and you have to do a deep investigation how much and to what extent technology is good for the company and in what area. And then technology can be a wonderful tool to help you reach your objectives.
Yes, definitely it's a tool. It's not a goal or a show or a gimmick or something like that when you speak about work.
Definitely.
Definitely, yes.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, Mr. Tom.
Excellent.
Welcome,
Excellent.
Oman.
Shukran.
Thank you, Tom.
Excellent. It was
a
wonderful.
pleasure, yeah.
It's a pleasure.
It's so great.
Fantastic. Fantastic. My God, you're such an accomplished businessman. Fantastic.
Thank you.